Hey, good morning again, everyone. This is the second part of today's lecture. I just finished doing the business card lecture, setting up the business card for the Monster image, Monster donut shop. This lecture will cover the postcard, setting up the postcard, and adding some additional text to this, to the postcard that I did to the business card. Okay, and also make sure that you go back and watch the previous lecture videos if you have any other questions about setting up documents or any other information about InDesign, and also make sure you view those InDesign videos that I posted from YouTube and from the Adobe site, just to get a different perspective from some other designers on how they set up their documents and do some things in InDesign. Okay. All right. So again, this is for the postcard. The postcard is going to have a little bit more information on it because it's announcing the grand opening of the donut shop. This is a more timely design piece because it's only going to be used for maybe a month before, maybe 2 months before. And then once the grand opening happens, the postcard is no longer relevant. So we're going to add some images to it, add an image to it, add some text to it, make sure that the contact information is on the postcard, the address and phone number and that type of thing. So here is the example of the one that I did last time, or for the class before. So it has the grand opening, the date and the time, the logo, and then the phone number, address, and website of the place. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to InDesign and start working on the layout for this particular postcard. Okay, so just briefly, the settings for the postcard are 6 inches by 4 inches. You can do horizontal or a vertical version of the postcard, whichever direction you want to go with it. You're going to do 1 page, 1/4 of an inch margins, and then an 1/8 of an inch margin, 1/8 of an inch bleed around the document. And again, that is to extend the image to the edge, past the edge of the document. So when it is trimmed in the final printing process or printing stage, that the image goes to the edge of the page or the edge of the card, and that there's no white space or blank area around the edge of the card. Okay, so I'm going to go over to InDesign. This is Photoshop, so let me go to InDesign. Okay, so this was the business card that I did earlier in the first lecture. So I'm going to go to File, New, Document. And the first thing I'm going to do is change this to inches so that I make sure that my page is the correct size. I'm going to do 6 inches for the width, 4 inches for the height, 1 page, 1 column, 1/4 of an inch margins. So, excuse me, 0.25 for the margins. And then 0.25 for the margins, 0.125 for the bleed. Okay, and then if you click the preview button down here, it will create the document down in the back, and that looks kind of a weird size. There it goes. I didn't apply that height there. Okay, so that looks right now. Okay, so there's your document in the background. You can make adjustments here and it should update there if something didn't translate right, or you didn't type something in there right. And then I'm going to click create, and there's my blank document. So I'm going to place, so file, place my image, and in this case I converted that Halloween image earlier in the first video, or first lecture. I'm going to go ahead and use that as my background image for the postcard. So I'm going to select that in the list. I'm going to click open. And again, I'm going to tell InDesign how big I want the image to be. So I'm going to go in the top left corner on that bleed line, which is that red line or line past the edge of the document. I'm going to click and drag with my mouse until the image goes to the bottom red line in the bleed line. And then I'm going to make sure I'm still in my selection tool. I'm going to drag the edge, this frame edge over here on the right, to line up with that red line. And I don't need to do anything on the bottom or the other sides. I mean, it can stay past that line, but when I work, I tend to tighten things up so it's exactly, the same dimensions on all sides. Okay, so there's the image. Then I'm going to place the logo. So in this case, I'm going to use the stacked logo. So remember, I provided you with a stacked logo and a horizontal logo. And depending on what you're designing, what type of piece you're designing, one version of the logo may work better than the other. And that's just depending on the amount of space you have to work with. And then the application as well of the logo. So if you're doing it as your profile picture or something on a website or something on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be, one logo may work better than the other. Okay, so in this case, for the postcard, I'm going to use the stacked logo. And again, I'm going to tell InDesign how big I want it to be. So I'm going to click and drag. And then using your arrow key, you can position it where you want. You can position it using the arrow keys on the keyboard as well. So I'm going to push this up just a little bit. Then I'm going to make a text frame to do my grand opening and then the date and time. So over in Canvas, I'm just going to click, highlight that text. So where it says grand opening, October 31st, and then 10 a.m. So I'm going to copy that. Come back over here to InDesign and then paste, Command or Control V. And then I'm going to highlight all of the text because I want all of the text to be the same font, but each line of text is going to be either a different size or a different style to it. And you want to kind of use the same font that you used on the business card because you want it to be a consistent design across all of the pieces. You want it to be recognizable by anybody that picks up one or both of the pieces. You don't want them to be different fonts or look different as far as the type, the way the type is, because they may think, hey, is this a different place? Why does this design look a little bit different than the other one? So I'm going to use the same font that I used on the business card for the postcard, just to keep it consistent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select the font that I used. And then I'm going to just highlight the grand opening. And I'm going to make that larger. And then I'm going to make that bold. And I think I'm going to make it all caps. So at the bottom of your character panel, you have options to do all caps, small caps, superscript, which puts the number, a little number smaller above the number or letter, subscript puts it below. So it's more like a scientific notation, 3 to the third power or something like that. That's what that's used for. Then you have underline, and then you have strike through. So in this case, I'm going to do all caps. And then I think I'm going to make it two more points bigger. Then I'm going to highlight the date and time. And I'm going to make that semi-bold. And then I'm going to increase the size of that a couple points. And I think because this kind of looks, the layout looks a little, or not the layout, but the balance of the text and the larger text here, and then the date and time. I think I'm going to move the time up next to the date. And I think I'm going to add the slash mark, which is right above your return key, just to do a little bit of separation between the date and the time. Let's see, am I going to do, let me try what it looks like centered. So I'm going to highlight all the text, center it, and then press my W key. And then click away from that just to see what that looks like. Okay. Then I think I'm going to select that text frame, and I'm going to use my arrow keys, and I'm just going to push it down a little bit. And then, excuse me. Let me go back, press my W key again. Let me highlight grand opening. And I'm going to change the color of that to orange. So you're going to click on your little color panel here, click on your little pop-down menu, go to CMYK, and then find orange. And again, you can't see it as well because this is highlighted. But you can kind of tell here that it's changing, the color is changing. And then I can click here away from it. And there's my orange for the grand opening. Okay, and then I have the grand opening, I have the logo, I have a background image, and then I need to go over and get the address, phone number, website again. So I'm going to copy that, come back over here to InDesign, create a text frame. So click and drag to make your text frame. Command or Control V to place your text in there. And this links to an external site that comes up when you copy and paste something from Canvas. So delete that. So all you want it to say is the address, phone number, and then website. And in this case, because it's a grand opening and you want everybody to know the location of the donut shop, the address is going to be first in your line of text, then the website, so that if they want to check out what this donut place has, and then the phone number last. So I kind of did it in reverse from the business card when I did that. So I'm going to highlight all of that. Make sure that it's the same font that I've been using. Increase the size. And then this I'm going to center. So I'm going to click the Align Center button on the paragraph panel in my properties. Because again, you don't want to use the space bar to center anything. You want to use the center align option so that it properly centers it based on the font, the size, the style, and the width of the text frame that that you created. So I want to highlight just the address. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to change that to bold. And then I'm going to highlight the website. I'm going to make that 2 points bigger. Make that semi-bold. And then just make the phone number just a little bit bigger. Okay. Then resize my frame using the selection tool. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add in the Facebook and Instagram logo. Whoops. Okay. Since I had the image in the background selected, when I placed that Facebook logo, it replaced the background image. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't have anything selected when you're placing your next image. So I'm going to do Command Z. And then it's going to reload the thumbnail of that logo. And I'm going to click and drag. Place it down here in the bottom corner. Again, click away on the gray area to the left or the right or the bottom or the top to deselect make sure nothing's selected. And then go to File, Place. And then find the Instagram logo. Click Open. And then do the same thing. Click and drag wherever you're going to place it. And then use your arrow keys to place it on the page. Okay. So that's the postcard, the grand opening postcard. You're going to save that. So File, Save As. You're going to do your last name and then postcard. And then you're going to export it as a PDF. So format, Adobe PDF, and click Save. Make sure that the Adobe preset is set to high quality. And then you're going to click Export. And then in Canvas, you're going to export the InDesign document and the PDF to the Canvas page. Okay. So if you have any questions about the assignment, email me and let me know. Review last week's lecture videos as well as the other videos that I posted from YouTube and from the Adobe site for some more information on placing images, creating new documents, and so forth. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, email me either through Canvas or Gmail, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. The other thing is I did go through and add zeros to all of the assignments that have not been turned in. I know there is no set due date, but we are we only have 2 weeks left of the semester. So if you're still working on any of the assignments, please get them turned in as soon as possible so that I have plenty of time to grade them. Once the semester is over, I only have a week to submit grades, and I will not be able to accept any late assignments past that last Friday of class. Okay, so if you're having any issues still with anything, let me know. I will work with you as much as I can, but again, we are 2 weeks away from the semester being over, and I don't want anybody to fail this class because you weren't able to turn anything in. If you're having issues turning things in, please let me know. If Canvas is not working for you right or whatever, you can email me the stuff as well. But I want some communication from those of you that are still, if you're having any issues, okay? So please reach out to me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so I hope you all have a good weekend, and I will do the final lecture next Friday for this class. Okay, all right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.